What's up, everyone? CR2 here. Hope you're all having a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever and whenever you're watching. Today we're going to be going through the 87s guide at Legacy, Texas. Is it 2008 or 9? One of those 2 years. But anyway, so 74 air temp, 88 track temp. It started off at 93 right as soon as I fired up the test session. So this is overcast. I've had partly cloudy. I've had mostly cloudy. So I think this week coming up is going to have one with some wild fluctuations in temperature from as soon as the session fires up to qualifying to even throughout the race, depending on cloud cover. So definitely be aware of that, guys. If you get a cool track at like 86 degrees for qualifying, get right on out there because track temp may be pretty sensitive for this coming week. Really quickly through my personal preferred settings, +4, 52.4. This is kind of personal preference and whatnot. We'll do 53.2 for qualifying. You really don't want to kick out your rears on your qualifying lap. And of course 12 to 1 as usual. Alrighty, so let's get on out there. I've ran quite a few practice attempts, just really trying to dial in my practice lap for this guide. 31.008 is the best I've managed, but that's when track temp fell to 88, 86. Right off the bat, track temp was like 92. I managed a 31.33 with 31.26, so it's pretty heavily track temp dependent, of course. Actually, track temp being a little bit cooler. Let's go 51.6. So you guys know the drill. Keep it under 100 up until you're on the backstretch. Just avoid any unnecessary tire heat. Your run-up is pretty tough. You want to stay in the throttle, perhaps just a slight lift to get the car to turn down, but you certainly want a late apex low exit or else you're just going to wash into that wall. See how close we get to it. 78 right at the line. Stay in it, stay in it. You can really charge these turns through your qualifying lap. Still stay patient. I'll point out my marker once we go over that qualifying lap again. For 3 and 4, low entry. Use a little bit of brake. Be patient on that throttle still. Certainly left a little bit on the table. See, we're picking up a little bit of time back. 31.111. So there's some ways you can attack your qualifying lap. You can just simply lift, try to carry some more speed over into the center of the current corner, or just kind of really attack it, lean on some brakes, and really attack your corner entry. But no matter what, don't overdrive your center to where you're delaying your back on throttle time. So this run-up is really important, but also a little bit difficult. You don't want to stay up right next to the wall because just for whatever reason, I don't feel like there's grip up there. Could just be me, skill issue of mine. There's some say that with legacy tracks kind of right up next to the wall, there's typically less grips. That's one of those grip strip things that you hear about once in a while. But best way that I found, enter up right next to the wall, a little bit of lift just to encourage that turn down, and just get right back on throttle and try to keep it full stomp once you see about one of the that start of the concourse sweep building entering your windshield view. And just, you've got to trust it. You're going to wash out right here, but you need it for that speed. Clock in at 178. Just before the line. If you can clock in at 178, 179, you're off to a really good start for your lap. Stay in it, stay in it. You're not really lifting and braking until you get to this Texas sign. So just quick shift, a little bit of brake, try to get to that low line. You don't have to paint it. And then just a little bit of throttle once you're seeing this apartment suite building in review, certainly more specifically this Texas 2 sign. But you wanna stay off full throttle until, and this is a really weird marker I've come up with. So you see this line, this seam line right here that seems to just come up a little bit above that painted apron line. You want to be at this apron line for your exit, as I found that's the best visual marker to where you can commit to full throttle and still make that exit. If you're on it too early, you're going to wash up right here, and trust me, you're going to smack that wall unless you lift off big time. So exit of 2 is a big test of patience getting back on throttle. Play it out in full speed. You see you waiting, right about there. Maybe I can get back on a little bit earlier because your Q lap, you can really just push the hell out of your tires. For 3 and 4, I don't really have a clear visual marker. You could lift off at the end of these lane markings. But for your Q lap, you just kind of got to feel that out. I don't have a good marker, unfortunately. You can see I washed up a little bit, probably lost half a tenth there, but as soon as you feel that car turning back down to banking, get back on throttle. You're going to wash out, and try to shorten your line as best as possible. Sorry about that, I had to step away really quickly. So you can see track temperature still fluctuating a lot. 84 degrees of track, you should be able to crack that 30-second barrier. But anyway, let's get on out there for 25 laps or so, 25 to 30 laps. So, Old Texas, I really enjoy for 87s. I don't think the series has ever been to newer Texas. I'd certainly be down to try it. But Old Texas, a lot of banking, wide track, very fast track. Washing out just a little bit. So the turns for Texas presents a challenge because they're really long entries, so to speak. Wide sweeping turn entry. You can attack it a few different ways. Kind of your middle high entry cut down late works, but I feel like for tire saving purposes, just my own personal preference, get on down to that apron line as soon as you can. We are coming up to start lap 3. Okay. See, I'm waiting. Look for that weird kind of seam line, you can see we're still kind of just naturally drifting out, so big test of patience getting back on throttle. Feels like we're overdriving into 3 just a tiny bit. That wide entry works perfectly fine as well. Don't really think it's going to scrub your right front, so just kind of a personal preference type of thing for everyone. Grabs a little bit of brake just to help the car turn down, and I turned in late anyway, so I didn't do a damn thing. A little bit of throttle, just modulate. Three and 4 is a little bit tougher. Going into turn 3, I should rephrase. Oh, look at that. Gain all of that time back just being a little bit more patient. And once you're back on the throttle, you can almost full throttle it. Exit of 2 is certainly going to be tight. You're just kind of naturally washing up that way. Oh yeah, that's certainly overdriving it. That's not the line I wanted. So for 3 and 4, I definitely say you want to go for an early turn in, almost shallow entry. Let's try the same with 1 and 2. Car seems to love it a little bit more. You're probably going to give up a tenth or so by the time you're going into turn 3, but I think long run it's going to be the better way to go. Let's go to 50%. And maybe try a little bit of braking to encourage rotation. Oh, too early on throttle. You see I had to lift and not hit the wall. So, considering fuel, 90 lap race, I want to say probably 60 laps. Let's see, we are coming to, this is about lap 12 in the run, I believe. Could probably push it 65, 67 laps at the most for this track as far as fuel, but I certainly wouldn't go that far. If your race is green up until that almost towards the end of a fuel run, probably pit at about lap 55, perhaps even 60, just depending the situation you're in. And as always, under green flag stop, take yourself 2 tires, minimal fuel you need. But with lifting a little bit earlier, waiting a little bit longer to get on throttle, should be able to hit 65 laps on fuel pretty easily. Kind of missed that. Fall off seems to be coming to a stop, so this is of course dependent on track temp. But say if you're in low to middle 80s of track temp, your tire fall off should be stopping somewhere in the 32.8 range. And of course if you're in low 90s, say up to 93, 94, probably add 33 zeros, somewhere around there I want to say. So as best as you can, guys, be aware of track temperature, because I think we're going to see some, it seems like we're going to get some pretty wild track temperature swings. Still be patient. You had to lift too early there. Let me show you what happens if you're on throttle too early for 3 and 4. Can feel that push. You gotta lift right there. You see that? Or else you are gonna clobber that wall off of turn 4. These exits sneak up on you much faster than you think they will. Sun's coming out, so expect the track to warm up a little bit. Alright, let's try to find some speed. Gonna try a middle line, still late cut down. So say right above this second seam. Still get the turn down. That exit feels a little bit better. Try another click down on the brake bias, or we'll go 2. Yeah, kind of a middle entry, low exit really seems to be better, or faster, I should rephrase. That was a really weird push moment. It's like the left front just didn't have any turn at all. I might have been on the seam. That was lap 44. Let's try right up on the wall almost. Try not to get that wall, of course. Gotta lift off big time. Holy crap. Think you can do it, but you can't. Yeah, I like the middle line up until you're turning down for your exit. Quite the best. Still missing entry of 3. Try a higher line for 3 and 4. Okay, yeah, that certainly feels better. So middle high, you want to be below that topmost seam, in my opinion. Anywhere above that, I just don't feel like there's grip. Track's gonna be really warm right now. We're going in for a practice pit stop. Be sure your brake bias is dialed up a tiny bit. Get to the low line, and again, you're going to be looking for the Sunoco sign. You can wait a little bit after that.
Pit box in 10.
That's certainly going to be early for some right side tires, so expect this to be really, really loose, guys.
1. Right here.
82, 85, so cooking the right front a little bit. It may have been from running the high line.
We're done. Get going.
Pretty sure you won't even need brakes on 2 tires. Not killer loose. Got to be a little bit aware, but it's not killer loose. Now what this is with still with some fuel in the car. Thank you, Cat. Little weird condition of loose entry, tight center. I'm certainly not driving it in any consistent manner right now, though. That was a little bit better that time. So tire wear, 82, 85. Could have done a little bit better on preserving that right front. So I think as far as tire wear is going to go, you guys want the low line. And certainly don't overrun your entries. That's going to be the biggest part. Go for one more practice pit stop. Okay. Alrighty, so 82, 85. Could have done better on that. That's after your 4 tire run or so after 30 laps. So just to summary up for this track, max fuel run, probably 65 laps. As tires burn off and you're just lifting off earlier, waiting longer to get back on throttle, you could probably do 67, 68 laps on a full fuel tank, but I don't advise waiting that long. I would say don't push it any later than 60 laps, because then if you wait that long, you're really going to be at the bit to, hey, you got to make up ground right now. Definitely, for sure. So absolutely for sure what you guys want. You can go middle entry, stay above that first seam until you turn it down. Be patient getting back on throttle almost regardless what line you're running and exiting of either turn. It's possible to burn more right rear than right front, just depending on how you're driving. Possible to burn more right front depending how you're driving. So driving style is certainly going to affect on how you weigh your tires. Like always, under green flag, just right side tires only. You get a yellow somewhere, get your 4 tires. Weird situations can pop up. You get a yellow at lap 17 or something like that. I'd possibly just take the tires. I don't want to, but if you don't, you're just going to get run over. So not one correct answer for every situation, but I'm very sure you guys are knowledgeable to make your choice pretty confidently. So lap time, what was 89 degrees? So when the sun was out, that track definitely warmed up. So be aware of track temperature, cloud cover. If a whole track is under sun, then be ready for your times to fall off a couple tons. Don't push it harder trying to chase your cold temperature lap times, because you're just going to hurt yourself. As far as laps, maybe look to start in the 31.64, fall off, probably stopping at the 32.8. Again, very much track temperature dependent. But as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope this is helpful. I can't say when I'm going to be able to bring you more 87s races on the channel. I've got a really weird situation with my PC where it crashes only during 87s, and it's incredibly frustrating because I can't race my favorite car. So if I manage to get you an 87s race, it's just going to be potato graphics, pretty much everything minimal aside from car count. So we'll see what happens with that. But thank you for watching, guys. Good luck this coming week for 87s. And until the next video, take care.